Hey, scrappy people. Tracy Reed here with day 17 of December Daily, and today I'm going to be doing a layout about how much we flippin' hate Christmas shopping. I don't know. I'm a bit grinchy when it comes to Christmas. I will freely admit it. My husband is a bit grinchy when it comes to entering any sort of store, especially at Christmas time. But I dragged him along, made him go Christmas shopping with me, and he hated it. But I feel like it's a story that needs to be told because it's very true. So I want to use the Citrus Twist Kits Jingle All the Way collection. Of course, I'll be mixing it with the Merry Making 12 by 12 add-on because they're all mixed together at this point. But these are two pages that I designed in the video for Jingle All the Way, which I think was the very first one. Yeah, it was number one. So these are two pages I designed actually to go together. I don't actually normally document my shopping, but I thought that I just stuck this shopping card in here because I thought it would work, and it does. And we went shopping and I took pictures, and yeah. So one thing is that I initially designed, goodbye one. I initially designed this page to go in the rings, but it's going on the back of this 5x8 page. So I'm going to cut these off and I'm just going to make a little mat for this instead, which I think will work a lot better because in the rings, it was sitting like a ½ inch too high and that was really bothering me. So this is a good way. I'll fix it and it'll be awesome. Hooray. I can add more color and pattern to it too, as well, I guess I should say. And yeah, this is actually gonna be a pretty simple page. I have these ColorCast 17 on 1 and 7, and I think I'm gonna put them here because the color matches just so perfectly. I cannot do anything other than that. And actually I should be able to get this off and lower it down a little bit. So that is where I'm gonna go. I'm going to make a 6x8 layout in the pocket on this side. And I have this ho 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 that I think I'm gonna mat these photos with. It is my design for Catherine Pooler, cut out on some red card stock, but the red matches perfectly, and so we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna mix and match a lot of things today and have some fun. All right, let's get started. So hooray for a page that went mostly as planned. Yay, we needed a win. We really did. Especially after yesterday's hour and a half long insanity. This went super fast, super cute, and I love it, love it, love it. So I am moving this pocket down, just taking off the adhesive, re-adhering adhesive, putting it on the bottom so I have room for those gigantic 17 numbers from ColorCast Designs that look so cute when this is all done. I'm going to make sure that they tuck just slightly behind the shopping card, and again I am going to mat this on a larger paper, so it's okay if they overhang just a little bit. And so I knew that there was a lot going on, especially with all of that bright aqua color, so I wanted to mat this on a paper that was calming, I guess you could say. So I'm going to get out my Citrus Twist papers, and I'm going to realize very quickly that the paper that I choose, which is this beautiful stripe, which is nice and calming and relaxing, I'm going to look through the rest of them first, is not large enough. The Citrus Twist papers are, they're 8.25 tall. So they're not the 8.5 that I need. So I'm going to take this Citrus Twist, I'm starting to lose my mind, Merry Making add-on paper from, I think that one's crepe paper, and I'm going to double mat this, and it actually looks pretty cool in the end, but I do need to trim off the top of this tag to make it just slightly shorter so that I can get a nice border around all of the edges of the tag. So I just trimmed off maybe like 1/4 inch, and I'm going to center it. Well, I'm going to off-center it, and then I'm going to trim it so that it is nice and centered on that white stripe. And then I'm going to just center the whole thing on the pink, and I like the little pop of pink and red that it gives the page. There is pink obviously in that gift paper, so it works pretty well. I'm going to tie this back on just before I forget. And then I'm going to work on the other side because this side was super easy. So I struggled a little bit, not really, but just slightly on the other side because I really wanted to use this Ho 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 mat, but I also did not want to mess up the visual of this side being a present. So I did not want to add any more paper layers to this page, which is why I really like the Ho 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 mat because you can see through it, obviously, and you can still see the present behind it. But it is a slightly odd size for these two photos together. I'm going to trim off the bottom row and I'm going to repurpose it because I have a title poking around in my head and I think it'll be funny and cute. So I'm just going to cut off that bottom edge and then I'm going to offset the mat just slightly up high. So where I ran into a little bit of a struggle is where I wanted this placed on this layout because I initially placed it up here in this corner and it just, the way that the whole thing sort of comes together, it's just not quite jiving with what I want. So I'm going to put it down just a little bit and then my title that I am thinking about is Ho Ho Oh No. I'm going to change it a little bit because it doesn't quite work the way I want it to. But if you turn the ho upside down, it turns into O very easily. So I was thinking that that would be funny. And I'm going to pull in these thickers from the collection as well to finish that off. So it's going to say ho ho, oh no. And then I'm going to change it in just a minute because it just, the way that it looks coming down this page is just not working for me. It's not quite right. So I'm going to commit to this adhesive because it's going on the photo, so I can still move things around if I need to, and I am going to need to. But I do put adhesive on the back of this O, and I shouldn't have, but I did. So that's just the story of my life when it comes to scrapbooking. So already this is like, I like it. I think it's funny and it's cute and I'm loving all the pieces separately. But the way that it went down on the page is not working. And again, I did not want to add any more paper. So I go through and I start pulling out embellishments that I think will work. And you can see me already starting to like try to pull up that O because I already know. I'm like, oh no, that oh no is not going to work. So I couldn't pull up the O very easily. So I'm going to try and work my magic around it and make it work. And it's not going to work. So I added the skunk because obviously this is about us being a little bit Grinchy and not wanting to Christmas shop. So I thought that the skunk holding a letter that said from me to you or to you from me or whatever it says is hilarious. And then I'm going to add another critter here in a second that I also think is hilarious because the critter, and you can see him right there, the little squirrel or chipmunk or whatever he is, he looks grumpy as heck if you look at his face. And so I just thought that they were the perfect sort of grouchy vibe to go with this page. So I turned off my camera, pulled up this whole thing, and I was like, okay, that's better. It needs to be lower. I'm going to pull up this O because I know that it's probably not going to come up very well, but there's a chance that I could get it off easily, and I probably could have used it. I knew that I was going to be putting this whole cluster over where I was pulling that off of, so I didn't care about the background paper, but I still could not make the title work in a way that was visually appealing to me if I kept that O. So instead of saying ho ho oh no, it's going to say ho ho no, which I think is still fine. It still works for me as a title. I think it's still cute. And it needed to be in a line. I think that was what the problem was, is that it needed to, for me visually, it needed to be the ho ho and the oh no, or what ended up being just the no, needed to be in a horizontal line because otherwise it was just not flowing down the page, right? Okay, so I'm starting to like this better. It's working for me, but it obviously needs more. There's just not quite enough going on. So I go through my foundation pages and I find this tag, and instead of keeping it on the tag, I'm going to pull this cluster off of the tag and I'm going to layer it behind or in front of or whatever, enmeshed with this cluster. And I keep trying to put that mistletoe there and it's just not working for me, especially since now I've got two bows next to each other and I didn't like that. So this is when Mr. Squirrel comes in. I thought about Santa, but I didn't like the two circles together for some reason. So the squirrel's gonna come in instead because he looks grumpy as heck and he's got a present even, so it was perfect. So I need to rearrange this just slightly so that the present isn't too far over my face, which means this needs to come down. Otherwise I have some weird trapped white space. There. Okay, I'm actually really liking this now. This is coming out good. I'm happier. And now I'm going to add in just some little bits and pieces to make the cluster a little bit fuller, a little less, like, have little fewer places where things are missing or feels like missing. Santa got his place by his ho-ho-no. And now I'm going to add in some flowers and some just something to make the cluster just a little bit bigger. And I felt like it just needed a slight oomph. But other than that, like, I didn't really want to add too much to it. So I'm just going to add some flowers here. I decided to add the pink one down at the bottom because I got a lot of red going on. And then, yeah, this is actually really cute. I like it. It's perfect. It's simple. And it was like a good relaxing page after yesterday's intense page. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There's a link in the description box below to the blog post for this page if you are interested in the still images and the credits. All right, thank you.